What's up, world? How's everybody doing today, tonight, tomorrow? As I always say, whatever time, realm, dimension you're living in, I hope you're doing great, feeling blessed, coming to you in a looks like a fallout shelter or something like that. But no, folks, it's the red, white, and blue work shed. Yeah, it's not that dramatic. But it's a great place. It's kind of a, it's your manly getaway. It's a place to tinker and put things together and do all that kind of stuff. I've got tools. I can drink like a fool. Good times out here. It's kind of my little sanctuary. What would it's kind of a place where I can just go and put together my little gadgets and tinker around and basically hide and drink beer. One of them deals. Y'all, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and a lot that we need to talk about. And don't think that I'm not aware of everything that's going on. I know I've been kind of slow uploading lately. Been dealing with a lot of issues when it comes to YouTube, and somebody made the suggestion about VidMe, so or be aware that I'm going to be trying to get that up and going here soon, hopefully, and try to branch out and not just be limited to this one source of getting the information out there. So thank you for whoever suggested that, who you are. And I really appreciate it, and I'll definitely be looking into that. I tried before. It was a little, I don't know what was up with it. Gave me some trouble. But anyways, a lot going on in the world right now. We got everything from the riots up there in Virginia. We have the usual hoopla around the world. We even have the stuff going on with the eclipse. And all these subjects I will be addressing in the next couple of videos. Right now I want to talk about North Korea and the issues going on right there. We just start off with Trump and all the people surrounding Trump, all his yes men that he's brought in. He got rid of basically everybody that got him to the game. He's got a bunch of new faces around him, a bunch of people that just want to agree with him and go along. And we see the things that have been said by Trump, and we understand what kind of person Trump is. And I'm the first, and I always say this, I admit I voted for Trump. Once again, though, we find out, unfortunately, that we're dealing with another puppet like most other presidents. We see what happens when a president really speaks their mind and goes against things. JFK doesn't end up very well. We have Trump out there bragging about everything, how he's going to, they don't want to mess with us. You'll see fire and destruction like nothing before. All the other guys around him talking about we're going to make North Korea look like a burnt Pop-Tart. That's pretty crazy analogy. Made me crave Pop-Tart, though. I like a little crispy on the edges. But we also hear him talking about the weapons, things like that. I mean, are we going to see another Moab? Are we going to see nukes used, tactical nukes? Or are we going to see these new laser weaponries that they've bragged about? Trump's got a lot of toys at his disposal, and we know that with his ego and the kind of guy he is, that he wants to get out there and play with his toys. And he's going to find any excuse he can to do it. He's the kind of guy that wants to feel like he's the biggest and baddest dude on the block and flex his muscles. And unfortunately, the rest of us are going to get drug into this fight. This is when you show up to the party with your buddy and he goes running his mouth, and then you're in a fight with him. That's kind of what we're having happen here. This chessboard that they've set up, unfortunately, we're the pawns on this board. Recently, we've also seen things with Guam. Guam has been issued pamphlets in case of a nuclear attack, the warning on how to handle themselves if this were to happen, telling them things like don't look directly at the flash, make sure if you wash yourselves because of fallout, you use shampoo but don't use conditioner because that can bind the radioactive material to you. I didn't know that. That's, I guess, good stuff to know. Also telling them things like get behind a cement block and do one of these numbers where you put your hands over your head, and that's going to save you. Cuban Missile Crisis, same thing, get underneath your desk and do this, and that'll save you, which we all know. Look, folks, if you were ever caught in this kind of situation, if you don't have a big deep freezer or a fallout shelter to go into, grab your loved ones, make your peace, tell them you love them, smile in their faces and make them more comfortable than you can. I hate to say something like that, but we all know that's the truth. They tell you these things to kind of give you this comfort and ease, like it'll all be okay, but no, that's not true. Also, we have warnings in other places from Japan. China has been making their citizens aware of this. Anywhere basically in this region They've been setting a lot of warnings out. One of the things that gets me though, and I can't help but to really kind of dwell on this, is it wasn't like a month ago this dude couldn't get a missile off the pallet, right? Off, it was just one of these, one of them deals, like a cartoon. And now we see that supposedly there's rumors that he could hit all the way to Florida. Now, how in the world do we go from not able to get a missile off a pallet to he can hit Florida now and hit basically anywhere in the world? Now, you have to ask yourself, is this all real? Is this really truthfully what's going on? Because we know these powers that be, what they will go to, the predictive programming that they will add into this, the hoopla, all this saber rattling, you name it. This show that they put on, it's always got twists and turns. Everything, when you think it's set in stone, the next day it goes a different way. We also see Russia on high alert right now. Russian troops, obviously we've known that we've had them flying over us, that we've had a lot of animosity between Russia and the U.S., so there's a lot going on there. We see them allying up with China, and then we see China kind of torn here in the middle. Not to mention, too, that North Korea has dropped newspapers or something. They took military helicopters and flew around all these newspapers and put their troops on high alert. So we see everything coming to a point now. And we see everything really heating up. And you can't help but to wonder, is this pot getting ready to boil over? And I really feel like it is. I feel like the talk, it's gotten to a point where there's no more talking. Now we're going to start seeing these actions take place. And it's unfortunate because these powers that be, they're all in their little safe areas, and the rest of us have to live through this. We're the ones that have to really worry about what next is going to happen. We've also had China speak up, though, and say, hey, look, don't, U.S., you guys better not be the first to strike. If you are, we will step in. We understand if you're shot at and you fire back, that's one thing. But they said we better not be the first to shoot, or they will step in. Now, what's that exactly mean? Don't know. We know that China has a lot of torn issues right now because they have a lot of trades with North Korea. North Korea has a ton of natural resources that China knows they can make a lot of money off of. So vice versa, North Korea can make their money. Now, brings a point though. We know with all these wars that have gone on, God knows how long, from everything from alkaline to poppies to oil, gold, silver. If a country has something, a natural reserve, gas, you name it, that we know that we can capitalize on, we're usually going to find an excuse to come in, find a reason, dictatorship or overrun by terrorism or something. We're going to find a reason to get in that country and take over and show them we know best. We know what's best for you. We know how to run things, and the past tells the future. Look at our past, and obviously you can know the future. And we're seeing the same playbook that's always played out. Also, you look at issues with China that we've had in the past, and it wasn't that long ago we were in the South China Sea with this little standoff over some islands. So we know this animosity is still there between the two of us. We've just kind of put things aside. China's more worried about just things popping off, and they're going to have fallout there. You're talking about a small area that this war is going to go on with many countries stacked on top of each other. So they don't want this fallout. So they really don't want us shooting. They don't want North Korea shooting. But I have a feeling when things kind of settle down, this is where we really get the questions. People call this whole North Korea and U.S. standoff, this is the start of World War III. Somewhat. This is more, in my eyes, this is the fuse being lit. The real World War III, the WW3, where you see all these countries coming out the woodwork and taking sides and figuring out who's going to, the real battle, it's when that land for North Korea is up for grabs. When everybody's trying to figure out now that this dictatorship has fallen, that who gets this land? That's the real question, and that's where the real war starts. Who's going to stake claim to this? Because we know for a fact China does not want us taking North Korea. They are already threatened enough with these THAAD systems everywhere. They do not want us right there on their border with a bunch of THAAD systems that Russia, China, even South Korea that we're in, they've all complained about these systems. They do not want them there. Now, do they really want more military bases? Do they want a bunch of U.S. soldiers right on the Chinese border? No. They're going to want that land, or they're going to want somebody else to be there. If we go in and claim it like we do with everything else, that's where the real big issues start. That's where we see these sides really start to take place. And people really, this is where the real WW3, in my opinion, takes off. Now here's where things too take a twist. We know in the past what's gone on. And we know we can kind of see where things are heading in the future. The problem is that most of these things, it's already been planned out. There's this illusion of, what's next to come. The problem is most of these elites know what's next to come. We just go back and, like I say, we know it's been planned. We go back and we look at 9/11, Gulf of Tonkin, Pearl Harbor. We take a look at the Illuminati playing cards, which have come back up into circulation again. We look at the predictive programming that has gone on everywhere from TV to movies to even The Economist just recently coming out and saying the things that they've said. We know that this world is a stage, and unfortunately, we're the stand-ins. We're the pawns on this chessboard. And this is where things really start to get hairy for me and worrisome. Because I know, and I think we all know, anybody who's watching this, a lot of society may not realize it, or they want to keep their heads in the sand and not pay attention to it. But we know that what these people are capable of is very scary. And what they will go to get to do what they want or get what they want is where things really start to get scary. 9/11, you just take a look at that. You take a look at these Illuminati playing cards. The fact that it was predicted, and you can say what you want about that. These cards, it's just a question of figuring out what order they go in, what has happened, and what is yet to come. There are some cards out there, the one, the atomic monster, that talks about Japan and California being attacked by this atomic monster. Now my thing with that is this atomic monster North Korea? Is this what we need to be looking out for? Is Guam and these other areas, is this just kind of the old looky here while I slip my hand in your pocket? That's what we have to be careful with. They give you the illusion of reality when we know that everything is a planned, staged event. And when I say this, like I said, you just need to go back and look throughout history. These events have always been planned. They know the outcome. The problem is we don't. We only get the clues. We get that predictive programming. We get these cards. We get these things. And we have to put the pieces together to hopefully save lives. That's how drastic this is. We're talking about lives of so many, thousands to millions of lives that could either be lost or saved. They don't care what they have to go through to get what they want. They will sacrifice every pawn to get their piece into that checkmate status. And this is where I really just get so worried. This illusion of reality that they put us on, this stage, this world stage, folks, it's all an illusion. We see with 9/11 what they did. And anybody out there who still thinks that 9/11 was just a couple of planes, a dude in a cave, and boom, they hit it just right, jet fuel and all that crap, go out there and do your research. Look at all the engineers who have come out and spoken about the free fall, that it's impossible for these buildings to free fall like they did. That there is no way that this wasn't some kind of controlled demolition. You look at Building 7, the way that it imploded on itself. You're going to tell me that was a fire and a little bit of structural damage to fall perfectly like it did? No way. Folks, we've seen it right in front of our eyes. The problem is most of society does not want to see past that illusion. They don't want to get out of that comfort zone because they know the reality that they face. The truth is what they fear most. They'd rather stay inside the matrix, inside their comfort zone, inside that box, that fake reality, instead of looking at what these people would do. We look at the way our liberties were taken away. This world was so different before 9/11. We all had freedoms. Now, granted, we had issues, we had problems, but nothing like what we see now. People will so easily hand over their liberties and rights in the name of safety, right? They put that fear. They put that fear of destruction in your mind, and you're willing to just handcuff yourself and hand yourself over to them in that name of safety, right? And they tell you you have everything to fear. Oh, you need to fear this man and fear that man. What they don't tell you is that what you should truly be fearing is them, is that reality that they're feeding you. This reality show that's already been written, produced, directed, you name it. They already know what the sequel's gonna be. There's no ifs, ands, or maybes, or mights, or whatever. They know what they're doing. Problem is the rest of society hasn't picked up on it, and they won't. They won't come out of that comfort zone. So what I'm saying is we all need to keep our eyes open, be careful. We know weapons of mass destruction, right? We know that these bombs or anything, some kind of weapon could come from anywhere. More than likely, these powers that be. Don't think they won't do this to their own people somewhere in this world to get what they want and point the finger at North Korea or somebody else so they can come in and do what they want. These are not people to play with or mess with. It's a scary, scary world. And like I said, these folks, these evil elites, they will do whatever they have to get what they want. We've seen it before. History repeats. History will tell the future. Keep your eyes open. Keep your minds sharp. Because they're going to tell you all kinds of things. Tell you all kinds of illusions to get you to go with one way, the way they want. And understand that way, 9 times out of 10, is not the way you need to be looking. You got to look the other way. They're all about the illusion. It shouldn't be the Illuminati. It should be the Illusionati. Anywho, folks, as I hear information on this, I'll be posting it. We're in strange, crazy times here. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep doing my part. I ask all of you out there, please, if you can, do your parts also. And I don't mean give money. I don't mean all that stuff. I mean share as much as you can. Get the word out there. Even if you don't share this video, make your own video. Make your own blog. Do whatever. Make comments. Write posts. Whatever you got to do. But get people aware that the truth is out there and they need to find it and accept it. And not go along with this fake reality show that they want us to anymore. As always, folks, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And more than anything, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay incredible. Keep safe. See ya.